Online Public Speaking, Day 1. This is Charles Hasbrook. The keynote for the entire semester will be extemporaneous speaking. And this means that you always reduce your content and rehearse it thoroughly enough so that the prompts that you use, if any, during your speech are in fact no more than keywords and very short phrases. We never read our speeches to the audience. That's called manuscript speaking. I don't think it will sound as natural, as organic as it should sometimes with memorized speaking. Some students will. If you memorize it, please try not to make it sound robotic, which would be essentially sounding as though you were reading a tape in your head. Sometimes that can sound as bad as manuscript speaking. The idea is that with extemporaneous speaking and with keywords and short phrases, you know the content thoroughly enough so that these little words, these minor phrases, will prompt you to deliver it slightly differently every time, as though you are creating it in the now, in the present, rather than something that was created a while ago, yesterday, a month ago. This sounds natural, and it sounds slightly different every time you deliver it if it's done extemporaneously as I'm doing this. Doesn't necessarily mean it'll sound good if you haven't rehearsed enough or if the material is poor, but this is extemporaneous speaking. Syllabus, that's what I'm talking about in this particular lecture. The three factors I always talk about on the first day: fear, work, and time. With online public speaking, I don't know how much the fear factor will be a big problem for you guys. We'll wait and see. Fear usually manifests itself in people either turning in assignments late or speaking very, very much shorter than the required minimum time, but we'll see. Are you willing to work hard enough? Are you willing to work early in the semester week, no matter which week it is? If you can jump, if you're willing to jump right in on the first day of each new week, listen to all the audio content, look at all the video content, and come up with whatever the assignment is for that week to post on YouTube, and send me the link, and not wait till the last minute. If you can do that, then you'll probably be ahead of the game. And playing along with that, are you willing to devote the time? Doing this correctly requires considerable effort and considerable time inputted into the course. Yes, I can tell. I can tell from day one when you submit an assignment whether or not you've given it any thought, any rehearsal, any preparation, any time. So extemporaneous delivery from keyword notes. Then I've made a note of me in this little arrow, a little inverted V. Prep and rep. To me, being fully prepared is one of the keys to effective speaking, and to get rid of the nerves, or at least minimize the nerves, repeating the process over and over again will make you a more confident, a better sounding speaker at the end of the semester. Here is the standard syllabus for Pasco Hernando State College. It's online, no live meetings. That's me, Charles Hasbrook. I am not Dr. Hasbrook. I'm an adjunct. I don't publish my contact phone number unless I need to give it to you after you've requested it via email. I rely very heavily on email, and that is my email address. In all likelihood, you will see it and be able to click on it and get in touch with me all during the semester using email. We're going to prepare and deliver various public address forms, but primarily we have small and larger assignments that we'll need for you to complete with a 70% degree of accuracy. Required textbook, and yes, you do need the textbook. 6th edition, Stephen and Susan Beebe. There's the ISBN number. I will be emailing you an invitation from the publisher, which is Pearson, for this particular book to be bought through them. You do not have to buy it through them. You might find it as a rental through the school bookstore. However, I do teach into the exam, but I also ask you to be aware of what's in the book. It is similar. It is not exactly the same thing that I have in my lectures. The 2 exams, which will be quizzes, Canvas, under quizzes, worth a total of 30% of your final grade. The questions are from the book and class audio lectures. I make no pretense of saying everything will be covered in the lectures. You need to be aware of what's going on in the book, one way or the other. I email audios of the lectures once per week before the start of the week to your email address. I don't cover the author's chapters in their order. I cover them in the order that you will need the material to put your speeches together. So don't look for it to be 1 through 18. It'll be 1, 2, 3, and then it'll probably depart with a different number, different chapter numbers for the weeks after the first week. Exams, combined 30%. Midterm, online quiz, 15. Second one is the final. Final is usually somewhat more difficult than the midterm because there are more terms to keep at the top of your mind. For the final, it's just a little bit more complicated information. The minor speeches, of which there are 3, combined 25%. The written work will only be for the major speeches, and the combined outline for the tribute speech and the outline plus works cited for persuasive, 5% each, or a combined 10%. The major speeches, speech only, combined 35%. The tribute is 3 or more minutes, 15%. Persuasive, 4 to 6 minutes, 20% for the speech only. So there you go. Speaking, 60%. Written work, 10%. Exams based on book study and lectures, 30%. Grading scale is not differently assigned than a lot of other teachers do. 90 to 100 is an A. No one is guaranteed to pass with a C unless the average is 70% or higher, with rounding up only at the end, so 69.5% would sneak a person into a C. 60 to 69 is not passing. Sadly, there are some students who do so poorly, they do not reach 69. There is no appeal once you have finished the semester and all the assignments have been graded. If your average is under 69.5, it's not passing. Exams, makeup policy. The exams, the midterm and the final, based on the textbook and class lectures, the handouts, which, when I say handouts, will be files that will be sent to you via email and also posted under files on Canvas. Each of these tests is available for 1 week only, multiple choice and true false. So read the book, take your good notes, study the study guide, which will be one of those files that I'll send to you. Any and all assignments not finished by the due date will be automatically 10% penalty. Exams, though, are not available after the due dates. Minor speeches and major speeches are to be uploaded to YouTube. Make sure you register for a personal YouTube account. Send the link to your speeches each time to me at my PHSC email address by the end of the due date. These are easy ways to build your grade And if you do them on time, most everybody will get scores in the 90s unless they totally mess up. Major speeches the same way, except with the major speeches, in addition to posting your speech on YouTube and emailing me the link, you'll be emailing me the outline in the approved format, or in the case of the persuasive speech, the outline and the works cited page. Lectures consist of audio and video. They will be very easy to understand, and they should be taken, watched, processed, thought about in the order that I send you them each week. I'll have everything emailed to you by the date of that week's class. And I also will post the files, audio and video, in Canvas under Files. So if for some crazy reason you can't find my stuff on YouTube, my Professor Hasbrook site, you can go to Files in Canvas and see exactly the same video and audio that will be posted on YouTube. There are 5 speeches. Only the 2 major speeches require paperwork. The minor speeches are very short. The self-introduction, for which there is an example lecture for this week that you will be watching, listening to, must be 60 seconds or more. The second one is a toast or the introduction of a famous person. That's called a special occasion speech, and it's 45 seconds or more. The third is a narrative, or simply telling a story. That has to be at least 60 seconds, and most people go longer than 60 on the narrative. The major speeches are individual speeches. In my face-to-face classes, I have groups assigned for individual days, and sometimes people get confused about whether it's a group assignment. There are no group assignments, and each and every speech will be for each and every person individually. The tribute, you'll be sending me an outline in the approved generic format that I will explain with an online video. It is never your entire speech. You stand to lose a lot of credit for writing down your entire speech. I never want to see that. But you'll be emailing me your outline in the approved format before you post it on YouTube. Also, email me the link to the speech. 3 minutes minimum for the tribute. The persuasive speech, the outline must be in the approved generic format, not your entire speech. Don't write down your entire speech ever. I just said that, but I'll say it again and again. For the persuasive speech, you have to have the outline accompanied by a works cited list in APA or MLA format of 4 to 6 minutes with a minimum of 4 different sources. Do not write down Wikipedia. Sources written must be also mentioned verbally during the speech. You will see how I do that. I have 2 separate speeches for which I do oral citations. You will see how that's done. It's not particularly easy unless you rehearse enough so that it sounds seamless to incorporate material along with your oral citation. I don't allow you to use a source or a website more than once. Outline plus works cited must be emailed to me before the deadline for posting on YouTube. Also email me the link to your YouTube speech. To repeat, I will model each assignment to emulate the style expected. Everything that I send to you that is either audio and or video is must watch. Don't think that you can throw any of this material away. It will cost you. Late assignments, such as a speech or outline not uploaded and linked, then linked, emailed to me, you pick up a 10% penalty. So if your outline is late and the link to your speech is emailed late, you'll lose 10% on both of those. But again, an outline is only for the two major speeches, and the particular link to the YouTube video also must be on time. Occasionally, there's a chance for extra credit. There will be a +5 available on the two quizzes that are found on Canvas under quizzes. Exam 1 and Exam 2 essentially break up the book into halves. There'll be a bonus question that will allow you an extra 5 points if you get it right. Prohibited items, I'm going to skip this because we're not doing face-to-face stuff, and there are a lot of things that are not permitted in my classroom face-to-face that pretty much it's not applicable in an online situation. Suggested study time and strategies. I don't know exactly how much time you'll have to spend to do this, but I will tell you that it's a 3-credit-hour course over 6 weeks, or a total of 45 hours according to the school's calculations. I think you're going to probably need most, if not all, of those hours to do it well. Important college dates. Classes begin right there. They end right there. This is for the summer A section. Last day to drop classes by 4 p.m. is May 27th. Last day to withdraw or change to audit is June 18th. I'm going to ask you to follow along and listen to each of the audios and videos that I've posted for this week. But you can see for this first week, I have orientation and syllabus review, which I'm doing right now. The audios will be for chapters 1, 2, and 3 in the textbook. Instructor videos will be on YouTube. Also, the link to that YouTube site emailed to you. And the audios and videos posted in Canvas under Files. That is for the first week. And then that first assignment is a 60-second self-intro that you must upload onto YouTube no later than May 27th, which you see is one day before the beginning of the second week on May 28th. And that's a quick run-through of the syllabus.